So hi, I'm Good, and I'm here to show you my Puncture build. Puncture is a unique skill in the game. It acts kind of like Ignite. It does damage over time based off the damage you did on the initial hit. So, I kind of wanted to make a character that was built around it. I tried using it with melee for a while, but I found it was a bit clumsy because of desync, primarily, but you can also miss, so you can swing at a guy once, run away, and you didn't actually hit him. I tried to kind of alleviate this with something like melee splash, but that lowers your damage, so I tried to alleviate that with concentrated effect. But that kind of made the area a bit small. So that was an interesting solution. It sort of works. You could probably make a build around that. Melee splash, conk effect, puncture with the sword. But ultimately, I think the bows are probably a better idea because you can miss all day and doesn't really matter that much. So I wanted to make a character that used Puncture as the primary damage skill. Physical damage is kind of hard to scale up, at least for the damage numbers, but I did as good as I could. So I grabbed the Chinsel bow, which is the most powerful bow in the game. In my previous video, where I kind of ranted on and got distracted a lot, and eventually suggested that Harrison Ford should be a map boss, I switched bows since then, and switched it up a little bit, so I do a little bit more damage than I used to. About 70 more max. And Chinsel has bow knockback at close range, very useful stat, and 100% more bow damage at close range, so it does double damage. And that applies to all of your sources of damage, like these gloves add some physical damage, this quiver adds some physical damage, this amulet, a little bit extra physical damage, and all this is multiplied along with it. So this is the most powerful bow in the game. In addition to that, I took Iron Grip. Actually, let's start with Point Blank. Point Blank, for close targets, do even more damage. So with Point Blank and the Chinsel, it's 300% more damage to close targets. So this number, completely inaccurate tooltip. It does more like 500 to 1,500 physical damage. The fire damage doesn't really matter. I don't really care about that. It's useful. It's a useful stat to have because when you get a critical hit, there's a good visual representation of that because it'll light an enemy on fire. So it's like, bang, you got a crit. And when you crit with Puncture, it's extra good because that crit damage is sustained because of the Puncture effect. So, yeah, it's useful. But Iron Grip, extra physical damage to bow attacks from your strength. I didn't know this, I thought it was a glitch at first, but these gloves, they had 5 to 9 physical, but if you go to offense, pick up Puncture here, actually regular attack, 143, they don't add 5 to 9 times 130% or whatever for all the extra projectile and physical damage I have. It adds more like 50% extra. So this bottom stat, 136 to 143. So that's adding, 7? So instead of adding like 12 to the bottom stat that it should, it adds 7. And the reason behind this, not a glitch, mind you, basically just a pure nerf to physical damage for whatever reason, is that Iron Grip doesn't apply to item damage. And I didn't know this, so I thought it would be a bit stronger than it would. I thought this would be more like top out at about 500 max damage, but it doesn't because of that. So that's kind of a shame, because these should all add, an extra 80% from them. But it doesn't apply because I don't know. Random things to learn about physical damage and how much it keeps on sucking. But enough about that. Onto the map. So I try to make Puncture my primary skill. It is a support skill, keep that in mind. So I took Split Arrow along with it. Split Arrow uses physical damage, or it has a giant boost of physical damage. So, no lightning arrow here. I also took 2 curses. And Yeah, so he does all right damage. I'm used to throwing Fire Trap and having the entire world explode, but so I don't know if this is good damage or not, but it seems to work. It's workable enough. So Puncture and Split Arrow I put on a 5-link. Previously I had them on a 4-link, but I did some optimizations and pretty much the same stuff, but I was also building Culling Strike in addition to faster attacks and Pierce. So Culling Strike gives me a little bit of a damage boost, not that much, instead of like 456, yeah, 414, so it's like a little bit of extra damage. So it makes it a little bit stronger. But keep in mind that with the Chin Soul and Point Blank, yeah, it's a ×3 multiplier effect at close range. This game audio is quite loud. Yeah, and that's okay damage at close range. You'd be surprised, but yeah, it's okay for a physical foe. Yeah. For curses, I took the vulnerability and projectile weakness for massive damage. Look at move for me. Oh yeah, so much damage, pretty much unbelievable. I thought about using 1 curse, but 2 curses always better to use. And I kind of worked that into here with the Windscreen boots. Yeah, extra curses. I kind of wanted to use both of them because they both do really good things. Wow. Vulnerability, extra physical damage. So, you know, get that physical damage up as high as possible for Puncture. Puncture only scales off of physical damage. And it also has a bonus DOT damage effect. So even these blues here can, yeah, Puncture does okay damage to them. One of the problems is you have to keep guys moving. The Chinsel works okay for that. It has, yeah, it works sort of okay. Because at close range, they get knocked back. It's pretty much the bow that was built for Puncture, I think. Yeah. Yeah, but you gotta keep guys moving. So, I originally was gonna take fending over here, and like fend with a bow. I don't know how that makes sense. But instead, it provides a little bit of boost, like 15%. But instead, I spent, you know, about a Chaos Orb and bought a 16% quality knockback gem, because those things are absolutely worthless. Because who wants to deal with a desync, really? Yep. Actually, how much did... I think it was 1 GCP I paid for that. Yeah. I mean, knockback is bad for 2 reasons. 1, usually you don't want to knock back guys. And 2, it causes massive amounts of desynchronization, which usually results in you dying. But desync doesn't really affect totems because they just shoot at whatever and it's server controlled instead of my sloppy control. And, you know, it keeps them back. Yeah, let's go this guy. It takes okay damage. Yeah. I didn't link any sort of projectile multiplier to Puncture. Uh-oh. Leveled up. I know what I have to do now. Nope. 1. So I didn't link any sort of projectile multiplier. to puncture because it lowers the damage, and I want to get the max damage that I can. Yeah, because the more damage you do per hit, the more damage puncture does as a DOT. So instead I use pierce, and with the pierce gem and the projectile weakness, you get 100% pierce. So even though it doesn't actually have any sort of projectile multipliers, you can hit pretty much everything. Yeah, we can hit everything we can anyways. So, yeah, hit both those skeletons. Those poor, poor skeletons. Kuduku, I sacrificed my life for you to res me again in default. Okay, so now that we've done our leveling up ceremony, we can continue on with the map. Alright. Yeah, so with pierce and projectile weakness, 100% pierce chance, so you get AoE even if you don't have any AoE. There's also split arrow, which is the AoE that you kind of want to get.
My spirit is spent.
Physical damage actually does have some good purposes. It's not just a giant pile of trash right now. Pretty much the only benefit is that you can equip like, you equip like one item, get all the life and mana leech you need. So we're basically set for life and mana, even though we have none of the equipped gems or clarity. Yeah. The other thing is that I didn't actually take unwavering stance. Yeah, that isn't taken. And that's pretty much primarily just so I can blind guys. Also, I'm a giant idiot. But primarily so I can blind guys, and that'll prevent me not dying to some enemies. Yeah. The useful knockback blind flame totem. The twinkle is blind. I know you've never seen it before. Neon curses. Look at this. Oh. Ooh, mountain ledge. Yeah. And I think the knockback flame totem is pretty useful. Because look at that guy, he can't really do anything. Tries to assault you, just keep on fencing that. Yeah, it'll keep you safe. Personally, I think the Brotem is, I don't know, I don't really like the Brotem. It feels kind of like cheating the game. I try not to use it, but sometimes it really is the best thing to use. But I try not to, and that's my solution to this character. Blind knockback totem. It also keeps guys moving, which keeps puncture going. So, puncture gets a huge damage boost if they're moving. Oh yeah, pretty good. Let's do this. Two curses. Because America. As you can see, I do have haste equipped as well. I don't use it yet. I need more mana. So I don't really know how I'm going to get more mana, but eventually I plan on also using haste all the time, instead of in select scenarios where I want to run faster. The main problem is if I equip haste, I can't cast my flame totem because I don't have quite enough mana.
My spirit is spent.
Oh, Shaggy, let's go. Get away, dirty bear. I'm I'm so distracted I cannot play right now. Wham! One shot. Oh, physical reflect. Useful thing. Puncture does most of the damage, so physical reflect, not quite as bad. Also point blank so you can see stuff instead of just shooting off screen and dying instantly. So, you know, no reflect problems here, because it's pretty much a melee build. Yeah. Come on, totem. I was gonna use like a level 1 flame totem because it doesn't cost an obscene amount of mana. It doesn't cost 99, and then link like greater multiple projectiles to it and knock back and blind. Just because it would just spray fire like it's a flame totem, I suppose. Yeah. It would spray fire like a fire hose, which ironically sprays water. Stupid goats. I have no idea what's going on. Come on. I don't know if anyone else does this, but like in like really dark places, anyone else just like cast curses off in the distance to like highlight enemies? I know I do that. It's kind of useful. Also, like always approaching from like the bottom side because you can see like 3 times as far if you go up. Tower point blank right there. Do absolutely no damage. If you don't know the damage numbers for point blank, damage is 50% bonus for like 10 range, which is like that far-ish. And at 35 range, you lose all your bonus. So like that's the range where like you still get a bonus from point blank, and then it starts falling off linearly past that. So like up there is like the max range, and you do 0% damage right there. Or is it? Yeah, that's about right. You know, if you find yourself generally shooting within like this sort of range, might be a good idea to grab that point blank gem, and then just use that. It does do quite a bit of extra damage. Keep in mind it only works with ranged attacks, no spells here. Doesn't work for ethereal knives, for instance. Oh yeah, bro, I'll go over the build after the boss, or almost at the end of this. The blood progenitor. What the hell hit me? something. I lost half my life. I don't know why. Ooh. That chaos orb. Shoot all the monkeys. And I think we're out of here. Get over the portals. They're loud. Actually, let's hang out with the fisherman guy. Fisherman guy's always lonely. Come on. Fisherman guy. What's up, bro?
There'll be time for that soon enough.
Alright. So what I do with the build, physical damage, you get useful boosts. Physical attack damage leech back his life. Yeah. So you don't need any of the life leech gems. So just that and an item. Got 4% life leech, which is, you know, almost a high level life leech gem. So it's like a free life leech gem. Then I got iron grip, point blank. I mean, these attacks are like already like 7 linked now. What else? So you got that. Reduce mana reservations, so I can use 3 40% ores. Still have enough mana to actually use something. Besides that, it's mostly what you gotta do. Stupid dog. Well, that's kind of what you expect. I didn't take iron reflexes because I am an idiot, obviously. If I did take that, I'd have quite a bit more armor. With determination, that's like 6,000. This would go up to like 5,000-ish. So if I did take iron reflexes, I'd have like 12,000 armor. But I don't really want to take iron reflexes because I don't really like that skill. Yeah. Instead, I took arrow dodging, so I can have like all the arrow dodging. That should be higher. This is like 30% with grace on. So that'll be like 60% chance to dodge projectiles, which is kind of a lot. Crystal skin. Really useful. I think it's probably, like, I don't know, if you go over here, I don't know, crystal skin and these 2 avoid shocks, that's like 55% chance to avoid shock. And shock is, you know, one of the main causes of taking lots and lots of damage. So, I don't know. I think these are really, really good notes. That's just me, though. I got flask life here, because even though I have a lot of life, flask life provides a bigger buffer than extra life nodes would, especially with these instant flasks. So you heal like 600 instead of 400. So, yeah. For 3 skill points, I get like 1,200 extra life, which is a lot more than if I got 3 life nodes. Yeah. Gear. Okay, helmet. You know, it's alright armor. Yeah, it's pretty good armor, actually. No life roll, but... No life roll. That's a okay belt. Windscreen boots. Nice quiver. Cool little ring. Gives me all the mana leech I need. Physical damage. Max life. Just life. Basically just life and a lot of strength on the items. So I got like 400 strength, so it really improves that iron grip power. Fisherman got anything yet? He never catches anything. Yeah, that's pretty much the build though. He's this character's alright. It's not incredibly effective, and it's pretty dangerous to use because you got to use point blank. But it does work. So yeah.
You looking sharp?